Was it not because of their fathers, their mothers, would they be on earth today? So even you're saying history relevant, but your father's a history, your mother's a history. You see, and because of them, you're on earth today. So you should be grateful that that father and mother of yours, old as they are, educated as they are, rich, they might not be very poor, okay? It's because of them that you're on earth, and they're part of the history.
You are from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and as a country, Uganda, one of our leading exports is security. What is the status report abroad there when it comes to our men and women in uniform?
Uganda, the UPDF, is one of the most highly respected professional armies in Africa. It is one of the most strongest army, and is one that is based on ideology, Pan-Africanism, and the determination that Africa should always enjoy peace and security. So we should be very grateful for what the UPDF is doing for this country.
Well, that is Honorable Minister Okello Oryem wrapping it up in that style. Of course, he gives us that preamble that if there's anything we are exporting as a country, we are giving it the best we can. And of course, he has emphasized that indeed Uganda is still ranked highly and one of the most professional armies in Africa. We shall roll this, and I'm trying to see whether we can at least get a 1 or 2 interaction with Colonel Chris Magezi, the acting spokesperson of the UPDF. And as today's events are concerned, I'm told he is the masters of ceremonies. So far here, we will keep on reminding you that the IGP of Uganda, Abbas Byakagaba, the Commissioner General of Prisons, is among those who are already here. And ministers, I've seen Minister Okello Oryem, I've seen Minister Godfrey Kabyanga Baruku, I can see Minister David Muhozi, I can see Honorable here. So there are so many government dignitaries, both from the central government and the security circles, who have come here to be witnesses of the journey which started 45 years ago. We'll keep this interactive, and as we wait for dignitaries, I can see at the extreme end the arrival of the Minister for Defense, Honorable Oboth, and Honorable David Bahati, Minister State for Trade, Industries and Cooperatives, who also hails from this district of Kabale district here in Kigezi sub-region. We'll keep this very interactive as we all wait for the arrival of the main celebrant, the chief celebrant, the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni. Joining me here is Colonel Chris Magezi to give us the way forward, how we shall start off these celebrations and what exactly will be our last activity of the day. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It is, I must say, congratulations upon this milestone.
Thank you very much. We thank the people of Kigezi and the Kabale in particular for hosting us this year. It's a very beautiful day, cool, sunny. I think everything is set. The parade has formed up. Very important guests have already arrived, including the Vice President and honorable ministers. We have distinguished delegations from neighboring countries, of our partners and allies. They are all here, members of the diplomatic corps. So this is a very important day. We are now waiting for the chief guest, who will be none other than the President and the Commander-in-Chief of UPDF, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He will be here with us not long from now. I take this opportunity to reaffirm our long-held partnership and close working relationship with the people of Uganda. And this is the whole essence of Tarehe Sita. This is an NRA UPDF tradition that our successes and triumphs have been built on our close working relationship with the ordinary person. We've achieved a lot, but we are cognizant that without the support of our people, we wouldn't have done so much. So every year we celebrate Tarehe Sita. It is rotational, held in different districts in different regions. This turn has been for Kabale and the Kigezi region. It is our way of saying thank you, giving back, but also to try and strengthen our relationship with the ordinary people even further. We've done a number of activities leading up to this day. They include the repair and rehabilitation of health center 3s and other hospital facilities like maternity wards. We've done road repairs and bridge construction in the hard-to-reach areas. This is a mountainous region. Pedestrian bridges and even motorable bridges for vehicles have been done by the team. We have done hygiene and sanitation in Kabale and all the urban centers in this place and around the country. Because whereas this is the national celebration, Tarehe Sita is celebrated throughout the country. We've participated in sports activities with the ordinary people, including athletics, football, and netball. Last evening, there was a party for the youth, really a good time to get together in which they mingled with officers and men of the UPDF. So it has been fun, and we say thank you to the people of Uganda.
Kanu, what is the benefit of all these social responsibilities you are doing as an army? What do we at the end of the day get out of these interactions, parties as you have mentioned, between the serving forces and the wananchi?
Our conduct and tradition is informed by our very tragic political military history of Uganda since independence. From independence in 1962 and until 1986, previous militaries were brutal. They treated the wananchi as slaves. They killed. They were not held to account. And they committed many crimes against humanity. In other words, the military in those years was the power unto itself, and they got away with whatever they did. But the Revolutionary National Resistance Army, or even starting with its predecessor, the Front for National Salvation in the 1970s, answered that question decisively, that the military are the servants of the people, and the people are the bosses, or the ones who have the power, and what we do is in the furtherance of their aims and objectives as a people of this country. So it is a complete contrast between the National Resistance Army and UPDF today and what happened in the military's past. And one of the things which stand out is for instance, this Armed Forces Week, Tarehe Sita. It is unique. It had never happened in Uganda before. I don't think it even happens in the rest of the continent or the rest of the world. Maybe there are other militaries who are doing something similar. But this is our affirmation of our enduring relationship with the ordinary people.
Looking at the word professional, it is a very wide word. In this particular case of UPDF or NRA, how can you explain, how can you elaborate more? What has changed 45 years down the road?
A lot has changed. Number one, the discipline of the defense forces. The UPDF in Uganda and within the region is known for its exemplary discipline, and that is a hallmark of a professional military force. But other than our discipline and general conduct, the UPDF has transformed in many ways. In terms of training and equipment, we have some of the best modern technologies which we need, the tools we need to do our work effectively. There are many threats, as you know, locally and within the region. and we have to be prepared to deal with them. The welfare of the defense forces has improved tremendously. How the soldiers feed, how they access medical care and other health services, how we take care of their families, children. We have schools, primary and secondary schools for the army, but also accessible by the wananchi, their accommodation, where they sleep, and also the working space, offices. So everything has been in a very positive direction, and even the way we dress. If you see this parade, they are very smart officers and men of UPDF and the other sister security forces, the Uganda Police Force, the Prison Service, and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. This image you see is just a small indication of how much the Uganda People's Defense Forces, formerly the National Resistance Army, has transformed over the years.
I didn't congratulate you on behalf of the Ugandans that indeed as army, as security, you didn't ensure that as a country move peacefully throughout the election process. How did you manage to do this first and foremost?
This is one of our latest achievements, and I don't say this to mean only the security forces, but the people of Uganda generally. We went through a very peaceful period. The festive season and the election season passed off peacefully. This is despite the many threats that were issued by some political actors in the lead up to the elections, in which some people, and genuinely so, felt threatened, but the security forces of Uganda working together, and the people, the ordinary people who want peace, because they know the importance of peace, cooperated with us very closely, and this has been one of the smoothest election seasons in the recent history of Uganda, probably comparable only to 1996, when we had the elections that time for the first time after a long period from the 1980 elections. So what this demonstrates is that the people of Uganda want peace, and those who promote or incite violence will be shunned by the population, and we have seen it here.
Afandi, what now next for the country? Now that elections is done, what should be your call?
Back to production. Uganda was here before the elections. It is here during and after the elections. Life must continue. And it is continuing very well. People have moved on. Of course, those who lost in the election, it is understandable. You may be frustrated at an individual level or as a political party, but this is democracy. If you've lost, would advise then that you go back to the drawing board and try to mobilize your supporters better next time. Or if you are still not satisfied, you can go through the court process, peaceful means of arbitration, to ensure that any outstanding disputes are resolved peacefully. But as per now, people have resumed their normal life. Schools are opening, hospitals, business is booming all over the country. And Uganda is growing very, very fast. One of the fastest growing economies in the world, at an average of about 6.5% for the last 10 or so years. So we are on the right track. I appeal to Ugandans to continue to guard their peace jealously, because there are some citizens within the region who are not so lucky. The other day the president made reference to over 2 million refugees from neighboring countries who are now in Uganda because we are peaceful. Let's guard this peace because it's important, and without peace you can't do much else.
But General, there are some public demands that indeed we need to get this right from you. Are there some people as security you are looking for after this election? We hear some are even out of their homes. Is there someone else, mainly among the presidential candidates, whom security has interest, which forced him to flee his home?
No, I'm not aware of any wanted the former presidential candidate. If we wanted, there would have been summoned through the Uganda Police Force to make a statement. I'm not aware the police has summoned anyone to that effect. And if you are making reference to one particular party, the National Unity Platform, we know they like drama so much. We saw it in the build-up to the elections, and during the elections, they made so many incendiary statements as far as inciting some of their supporters to come and attack the security forces, because according to them, their supporters were many more than those in uniform. Very, very unfortunate remarks, if you ask me, from what you would otherwise think are mature political leaders. However, whatever action is taken by the security forces is backed by evidence, and whoever has been arrested has been produced in the courts of law.
So Honorable Kyagulanyi is free to go back to his residence?
As far as I remember, the Honorable Minister of ICT came out and stated so, and I have no reason to doubt it.
Well, thank you. Well, that has been Colonel Chris Magezi. Of course, we are trying, this is the first Tarehe Sita celebrations after the elections, and this has been said over time that indeed it is through these security agencies that we are where we are today. It has been a very peaceful process throughout the campaigns up to draw us here. Then we will continue with the events of the Tarehe Sita celebrations here as we wait for the chief guest, who happens to be the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Uganda. Thank you, Colonel Chris. General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I've seen here the presence and the arrival of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Thomas Tayebwa. I've seen the Security Minister, General Jim Muhwezi. I told you earlier, the IGP of Uganda, Abbas Byakagaba, then the Inspector, Head of Public Service, Madame Luce Nachobe, is among already here in Kabale National Teachers College. We shall try to move here and see whether we can get Honorable Dr. Chris Baryomusi, the tallest man from Kigezi, and we see whether we can interact with him here. Here, if you can get these brief pictures on your screens.
Thank
is
you.
A brief discussion between the two former
we want also to welcome
Prime Ministers, Dr. Duguru Hakana Rugunda and
Member of Parliament wa Rwanda District and Commissioner of Parliament,
John Patrick
you are most
Amama
welcome.
Mbabazi.
Honorable
It is the 45th Tarehe Sita celebration happening here at Kabale
District
National
you are most
Teachers
welcome.
College. And
Presidential Advisor
the day is still very bright. The weather is still very conducive. And we in uniform are already on to the
Minister Jim Muhwezi.
The day specifically highlights the journey of Uganda's security. If we can join the rest of those who have
King Caesar Mlenga,
it is a testimony
that
Uganda's political
you are most welcome. Thank you for coming.
By the able leadership of its security apparatus. When we talk of 40 years of the NRM government, then 45 years of security or UPDF, it is a correlation that the two moves together. Without peace and security, they could have not been able to make it up to where we are today as a government party. I'm trying to see whether we can get Honorable Chris Baryomusi somewhere there. And of course, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, is just making his way here. I don't know. Right, Honorable, if you can share with us 1 minute. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
45 years of the UPDF NRA Army. As a senior leader in this country, what can you share? What can you reflect about this journey of 45 years?
No, it's a journey of resilience. It's a journey of sacrifice, because the bedrock of democracy and the peace we are having is on the bravery of our great people who made the sacrifices. We just opened the monument.
General Salute and take his seat. You are most welcome.
Celebrating the lives of the three heroes who were executed by Amini when they were struggling to save this country. So it's a mix of somber mood, but also celebration. Somber in that we lost great men and women who would have made a significant contribution to this country, but also celebratory in such a way that these people, again, we are celebrating through the achievements we've had as a country.
Well, thank you, Right Honourable. Let's allow the CDF to be... Well, it has been brief. Let me just first mute my voice and you get the image.
Thank you very much, Parade Commander and Parade, for receiving our CDF. Thank you very much, Chief of Defense Forces. You are most welcome at this function. You are most welcome in Kigezi. You are most welcome in Kaware Municipality.
The Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda, the Honorable Justice Flavian Zeija. You are welcome, sir. Our distinguished guests, you are welcome to NTC Grounds, Kabale, for this 45th edition of Tarehe Sita, which is a commemorative week and a date marking the birth of the National Resistance Army, now the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Anytime from now, the chief guest, the President and the Commander-in-Chief will join us at this function and we will get started. It's a beautiful, cool and sunny day, just the perfect weather conditions for a special day like this. The theme for this year's Tarehe Sita celebrations is defending the gains of the revolution and honoring the sacrifices of the freedom fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. And talking about sacrifices, there is a special monument which has been constructed in Kabale Stadium to remember some of our earliest cadres of the Front for National Salvation that were executed in those grounds way back in February 1972. When we are talking about sacrifices, that's what we mean. And there has been a lot more that has been shed in blood and sweat, and in the form of other prices that the people of Uganda can enjoy the peace we have, and the peace we have has laid the foundation for our sustained socio-economic transformation. And of course, of very significant importance has been the consistent and visionary leadership of the original general of the resistance, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who from long ago saw the troubles in our country and in Africa generally, and set out a very clear path. And that direction has been very consistent from that time until now. And as we head into the future, we can only dream of greater and even better things, because that is really true. According to recent economic statistics, Uganda has grown on an average of 6.5% annually for the last 2 or so decades, and it is one of the fastest growing economies on the continent. So all we have to do is to maintain the peace, and we thank the people of Uganda who have worked with the security forces to ensure that Uganda remains peaceful and secure, so that progress can continue. To mark this special occasion of Tarehe Sita in Kabale, the Directorate of Defense Public Information, Ministry of Defense, and UPDF has produced a special magazine, the Tarehe Sita, the 6th of February 2020.